Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that's so much more than just a list of names. It's actually a deep spiritual and practical framework, all from the teachings of Haji Ramil. So let's start with a really big question. What if a list of ancient names could give you a compass for your everyday life, a key to understanding everything around you, and even a shield to protect you from despair?
Okay, so first things first, we need to get a handle on this central concept here, the beautiful names, also known as Asma'ul Husna.
Asma'ul Husna, it literally means the most beautiful names. Now, according to Haji Ramil, these aren't just titles you memorize. You should think of them more like gateways or portals that help us understand the nature of the divine. And by doing that, we start to understand our own existence and our place in this whole universe. So, we've got the definition, right? But how does this actually play out in someone's life? This is where all that theory turns into a real, practical blueprint for living. And this is what's so cool. It lays out a clear, totally practical roadmap. This isn't just some abstract idea. Knowing these names can make your prayers more powerful, give you real strength when you're struggling, and even help you build a framework for life's biggest questions. It's almost like it can snap you out of spiritual autopilot. And Haji Ramil puts this so beautifully. You see, the names aren't meant to be static. They're an active source of spiritual energy. He teaches that they are just this wellspring of hope, a force that can literally transform your inner world from desperation to one filled with joy and purpose. But believe it or not, it goes even deeper than that. These names aren't just some supplement to faith. They're presented as the actual key to unlocking this central text of Islam, the Quran itself. So, Haji Ramil uses this really powerful metaphor. He says to think of the entire Quran as an explanation of these names. And if you want to truly get what a verse is saying, you have to look at the name it ends with. That name, that's the key that unlocks the whole thing. And check this out. This shows you exactly how it works. The Quran says that we as humans are the very essence of need. But why? Well, the verse answers its own question by ending with two names, Al-Ghani, the self-sufficient, and Al-Hamid, the praiseworthy. Our deep, profound need only makes sense when you put it next to God's total self-sufficiency. You see, the names don't just end the sentence, they complete the entire meaning. Now, the names also show us this fundamental duality in the nature of the divine, a kind of balance between what's often called Jalal and Jamal, or majesty and beauty. So on one hand, you have the names of Jalal, or majesty. These are the ones that inspire awe, the ones that talk about might and incredible transcendent power. But on the other hand, you've got the names of Jamal, or beauty. These reflect mercy, gentleness, and a really intimate closeness. To have a balanced spiritual view, you really need to understand both, that the divine is at once infinitely powerful and infinitely merciful. Okay, so these names are obviously a huge deal. So what's a believer supposed to do with all this? Well, Haji Ramil boils down the guidance from the Quran into three very clear calls to action. And this part is key. This isn't about just passively knowing things. It's a command for active engagement. The first duty is to read. You got to recite them and learn them. The second is to remember, to constantly bring them to mind and think about them all throughout your day. And the third is to sanctify, to glorify them, and really recognize their purity and how lofty they are. It's all about weaving them into the fabric of your consciousness and your life. And so we'll leave you with this final thought. The most beautiful names aren't presented as some static list you just have to memorize. They're more like a series of doors. And each one opens up to a deeper understanding of yourself, of the world, and of the divine. So the only question left really is, where are you going to start your journey? Which door will you open first?